Welcome back. We're here with Prince Dykes, the Prince of Investing. Welcome
Thank
to
you.
Denver
Thank
Open
you
Media.
for having me today. My first time here on Denver Open Media, so I'm excited. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. I'm glad you're here. So where did this name come from, the Prince of Investing? How did you get that moniker?
The name, Prince of Investing, came from a guy by the name of Jay Fidel. I did a show out in Hawaii, a local public access show out there called The Prince of Investing. That's where the name came from. But the name came from Jay Fidel made that name up for the actual show that I was doing.
Okay.
So he offered me a show there. He was like, "Hey, I got a great name for it. I think you should name it, The Prince of Investing." So here I am. So, but my real name is Prince Dykes. So he spun off of my name and everything I have been doing in investing and things like that, financial literacy, and he gave me that name. And ever since then, I've just been the Prince of Investing.
Okay, that's great. It's the natural fit.
Exactly, right?
Awesome, yeah. So tell me a little bit about what you do, your show, and...
Okay, well, a little bit about myself. I'm 33 years old now. I'm married now with a son, a 6-year-old son named Wesley.
Oh, nice.
And I'm originally from Waynesboro, Georgia, a small town. But I served in the military for 14 and a half years. And during my stint in the military, I learned about financial literacy, right? Not financial literacy, but I was introduced into finance as a logistics specialist. So during that, I became very interested in it. So while I was serving, I earned my associate's, bachelor's, MBA, different investment licenses and things like that. And I really wanted to do it once I retired from the military. So what I did, I started with a Facebook page first. Started with a Facebook page, just something to kind of get out there, get used to it or whatnot. And then that Facebook page turned to YouTube, podcast, radio, television, ended up writing 2 children's books, all this stuff like that. And everything just added on like that. So here I am today, mostly a financial literacy show. I do cartoons, things like that. But that's what I really do is just financial literacy and education, showing people how to do things and things like that. So
yeah, that's important work because the financial world can be extremely confusing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So hopefully I make it, easy enough for kids to understand and adults. If I can get a kid to understand, I think I can get adults to understand it because I know the jargon. And the reason why I can speak to a audience that way, because I was the same exact way, Jesse. I looked at the things and I said, man, this is crazy. How can I ever understand something like this, right? So I just break it down for the grand education for the common investor.
Okay.
Essentially what we do.
That's interesting because I haven't gotten an opportunity to see your show. We just met last week, and I've been pretty busy this week.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But yeah, that's interesting. So you actually have children are one of your target demographics. That's very interesting. Okay.
And it really got started behind me and my son. His name is Wesley, right? He's 6 years old now, but when he was about 2 years old, we started on YouTube about 4 years ago. And by us being on YouTube together, it just formulated into a cartoon, then it formulated into a book, because I was teaching him. Because it was things that I was learning about investing with an MBA at 28, 29 years old that I wish I had known as a child. So when I asked my parents why they didn't invest more for me, they said, we just didn't know.
Yeah.
So to prevent that, I started teaching my son when he was 2, and he started picking up on what is a stock, what is a dividend, things like that, and it just formulated into books and cartoons, and everything just grew from there.
Very interesting. Okay.
Definitely.
All right. So the show. Tell us a little bit about the actual show that you've got. How many episodes do you already have filmed that you'll be ingesting, which is very appreciated. This is the content that we're looking for with the content drive. So tell us a little bit about that content that you'll be ingesting.
Well, we'll be airing this show here on, through you guys, and I definitely thank for the opportunity. But those episodes, you probably read the book, The Wolf of Wall Street. Right?
I've heard it, yeah.
He's on one of the episodes. Probably heard of basketball player, Meta World Peace. He's on one of the episodes. You have the chief editor of Yahoo Finance. He's on an episode. It's so many guests that come through. Billionaire real estate guys. Ellen Siminoff, one of the vice presidents of Yahoo, and who went off and sold her company for $500 million to Adobe. Wow. She pretty much created what we know today as Google AdWords.
Okay.
So, yeah. So she's on one. So it's a lot of things that are there. A lot of great content. Things like, it's not a stock picking show, but it shows where you can hear from athletes, athletes that you watch on TV, NFL, NBA, entrepreneurs, big entrepreneurs, very successful entrepreneurs, real estate guys. We talk about things like insurance, federal interest rates, the stock market, real estate, anything that has to do with the realm of the world of investing, all the way down to entrepreneurship. That's what you're going to get. So I think it's very good content for learning and to hear from some of your day traders and very successful people from Wall Street, to come in and sit down and talk about topics like that, where it's broken down to just a common, regular, everyday, blue collar working person. So if I can understand it, I know everybody else can understand it.
Yeah.
So I'm not that smart, just. So so I think it'll be pretty cool.
All right, yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Do we have your sample clip lined up? We're ready to play that?
Yeah, I think we got a little clip that we can see here. I don't know where you guys got it shown in the studio, but yeah.
Okay, well, they'll be all right. That looks like a very nice show.
Yeah, and actually, some of that clip there was that Warren Buffett that we all noticed. I went to his annual meeting this year for some odd reason. They allowed me to come up there and do that. But I got a chance to highlight a lot of athletes. A lot of athletes that I grew up watching there, and a lot of CEOs. So that was pretty cool too to see the documentaries from there.
Yeah, nice. So what brings you to Denver? I mean, I've never been to Hawaii, but it seems like Hawaii is not a place that you just leave.
Hawaii is a great, excellent place. I love all the things that I did down there with the radio and television and stuff like that. But what brought me to Denver is I'm still active duty. 14 and a half years since 18. I'm 33 years old now. And it's been the last 14 and a half years I've been active duty. So that's what brought me here to Denver. Colorado. I may call it home. We'll see. I got 5 more years to retire, so we'll see.
Okay, yeah, a lot can happen in 5 years.
Yeah, definitely, that's true.
Yeah, but I do appreciate the fact that you're moving full steam ahead with your other career and making some moves, making some videos.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's awesome. So this book, the children's book.
Okay.
I'd like to hear more about that because that's definitely been my experience. When I was growing up, I was taught absolutely nothing about finance because my parents, they just didn't know. And then I had some experiences where I learned a few things, lost some investment money, and had some, just negative experiences in the financial world until eventually figuring out where my personal equilibrium is. So the idea of having information that is geared toward young people, because I have a daughter and I don't necessarily know that if I'm in the best position to be able to communicate to her right now on how to be successful financially. So tell us about this book and what you're doing to remedy that for others.
Well, my first book, this is a paperback version, right? This is a paperback version. You can take a look at that one.
Okay.
It was titled Wesley Learns to Invest. That's a children's book, stemmed around my son, that was released about 3 years ago. It's a paperback, hardcover, audio, whatever format. But that one was me teaching Wesley how he could invest for himself. Like we just had Christmas, right? And by us just having Christmas, how much probably would an Xbox cost? If you was to guess, right?
Yeah.
I'd say it probably cost $300-400. I didn't buy one yesterday, but I would guess a gaming console. But for that same amount of money, you could invest into the particular company like a Microsoft. So, Microsoft, to become an owner, to buy a share in the company, become an owner, is only like $70-80. Don't quote me on that. But it's around that price range. But if you went and got an Xbox for your children, plus the games and the consoles and stuff like that, you're probably talking $400 or $500, right?
Yeah. So
it's just that paradigm of saying, hey, instead of us just becoming consumers all the time, how about I teach you to put a little bit of money to the side for investing? Because we already know the things you're buying for your daughter now when she's 18, she's probably not going to be able to wear. It's not going to look as cute anymore, or things like that. But it would be nice to say, hey, well, I did invest into some of your favorite companies like Microsoft or whatnot, or whatever the case may be. But even if you don't know what stocks to pick, which most of us don't, you can purchase the index. So those are the things. Just getting those principles into children's heads.
Yeah, just the fundamental concepts of what investing even actually is, what it looks like. Okay, interesting.
And this is the second one. You probably can tell by the title a little bit what it is. Paperback version.
Okay.
This one came out this year. It talks about credit, teaching kids about credit.
Wesley learns about credit.
About credit. So the thing about it, to ask yourself, the question is, what if you was able to learn, about credit at a young age? Learn about these principles and ways that your parents can start building your credit before you become 18. Because I didn't learn until I went to go get my first cell phone. And they said, what's your credit score? And I was like,
what?
I never used that. Got to be good. Just like, no, the credit is pretty bad, so we need this much in deposit. So those are two. So it's more to come from that series. But those are the two books so far.
Yeah, very interesting. How long have... What was the development process of that? I'm just take a step back.
The development process, Wesley is now 6 today. And we started off about in 2013, probably about 4 to 5 years ago. And it started with a YouTube channel. And we were just making YouTube videos. He was sitting on my lap and things like that. And me teaching him different investment terms or talking about investing and whatnot. And it just grew. And I wanted to create a product where people wanted to see something. Because, you think about it. Have you ever heard of an investment book for children?
No, I personally have not.
Wesley Learns to Invest is the first one.
Okay.
So that's what I wanted to do, was the whole financial industry is geared towards credit repair, learn about this. And most of the people are 30, 35 years old when they're trying to figure out, just like you, Jesse, right? Yeah. So I said, well, what if we did it for children? Yeah. What if we just started putting these terms into their heads as children? And that's where the whole ideology came from, the idea behind it, and starting to, write, and then it turned into a cartoon, all the good stuff like that. So
yeah, that's great. I mean, I think that speaks to something that a lot of people hit as an obstacle when creating something, which is, well, it's got to already have been done. A children's book for financial knowledge seems kind of obvious. There's got to be something like that. And then it turns out that you were in a position to make something that just wasn't available before. That's pretty neat.
Because think about it, just when I looked around the industry, it was a lot about, putting money into a piggy bank. It was a lot about, which are great books too. It's a lot about saving. It was a lot about budgeting and things like that, which are great. Because in my parents' era and our grandparents' era, they could save their money and make a lot of money because of interest rates. Mm-hmm. But now, due to inflation and a low interest rate society, it's very hard for us to, not very hard, but we have to do more than just save.
Yeah, it's a different game for sure. Yeah,
it's a different game. So I was like, who's teaching kids about investing, right? So, and that's where it came from. And you're right. I didn't really know at the time when I was formulating it, but it just kind of happened, and it was just 100% independent. Published it myself, independent all the way, and that's what essentially happened.
All right, well, that's awesome. I like to hear stories like that. Independent people finding success, especially finding that kind of, a special. Yeah, this is a very special gift that you have to offer, and so to be able to develop that as a maker of content, as an artist myself, I love to see that independent people making something that wasn't there before.
Exactly. Yeah. That is it's hard to do because you have to put your own money up. You have to believe in yourself. No one is there really to support you and help you. You have to navigate by yourself. You have to work 10 times as harder because you don't have a big brand or a big name that's pushing everything for you. Mm-hmm. You have to get up and do every little thing. And by you doing every little thing, it is a tough task. It's not easy because when people see you successful, they look at the tip of the iceberg. Mm. They look at me here. Oh, wow, he's on television talking about these books. Oh, man, I can do that. I can do it 15 times better. But you got to ask the person where were they 4 or 5 years ago when all this was in the making. So it's a lot of work. So
yeah, Yeah, that's the truth. There's a lot of work, no matter what we're doing. Just making a video is a lot of work, let alone building a brand with those videos. And yeah, certainly.
Definitely.
So the future of your project, what do you have lined up? What are you envisioning to going forward?
Going forward, there will be more books in the series. I usually publish a book about every year and a half, 2 years, or something like within the Wesley Learn series. I will write a book one day myself, but I feel as though I need about 10 to 15 more years of experience.
Thank you for that. Thank you. I've read some books that were written before they had the experience. They shouldn't have been writing that book, so I really appreciate that. Yeah.
So that's about 10, 15 before I write my, it's going to be about a lot, because I go through a lot of things. I'm like, man, this would be like, it's almost like a movie, but I know that one day that'll come. But in the future, Wesley Learns series, it's also a workshop. It's on social media all over the place. It's a cartoon. So it'll be cartoons coming out about it. It'll be, it's a virtual workshop where people can go online and just follow the content along. It's a actual, where we go around to different schools. We go to different libraries. We go to one library at a time. We get injected into one library at a time. We go to one school at a time, one library at a time, just like that. We don't have anybody out there just doing it. We just pick one school.
Yeah.
If a school say no, we go to the next one, and that has worked very successful for us. So it's just a grassroots movement.
Yeah, that's a very grassroots, the way I like it.
It's only two people, just myself and my buddy Chad. He's out of Maryland right now. He's in the military. He retires in like a couple months, and between me and him, that's it.
And so you're actually getting these books in the school libraries.
We're in three schools in Hawaii, one library in Yokosuka, Japan, South Korea, Philippines.
Oh, wow.
Spain, London, South Africa, Georgia, my hometown, and it's in the public library in Burke County, Georgia, and throughout the whole county of my hometown.
So you're an underachiever. We get that. Yeah,
I am definitely an underachiever.
Okay, that's remarkable. So you've got.
I don't consider myself a success or anything like that. I just don't stop.
Okay.
I just go from one to one to one to one to one, and sometimes I get lucky.
Persistence pays. Yeah.
Persistence over resistance.
Yeah. Okay.
God taught me that a couple years ago. But I'm just pretty persistent, and we just take it one school, one step, one thing at a time. So.
Okay. That sounds like wonderful advice to follow.
Definitely.
So let's talk about the actual show. You're the Prince of Investing. Let's talk, since we only just saw a brief preview. Like, what's like the format of your show? Is it a half-hour show, hour-long show?
Yeah, it's going to be. We're going to start with a half hour.
Okay.
We're going to start with a half hour, and we could go to an hour, but I think half hour is a good enough time. We'll do that. We'll start off there. And the format of the show, it's going to be talk showish and educational, but we want to bring in people like we always done in the past, like you saw on the trailer there.
Yeah.
Bringing some of the top day traders in the world, bringing some experts from Wall Street, maybe some local financial people here in Denver, Colorado, maybe some people who are doing some great, awesome things. Very positive show, because we get enough negativity out there already. I know all the other media outlets will cover that. And you have to work 10 times harder to get exposure for positivity versus, you have to call so many stations. You got to call so many people. You have to do so much to get exposure for doing something positive. But if you walk down here and rob the bank, you'll be everywhere. Right? So I like to get more exposure to that. But it's all financial literacy. We're going to be talking about stocks. We're going to be talking about real estate, entrepreneurship, business, franchises, all those things. Learning from some of the best people in the world, hearing from some successful people, picking up knowledge, things like that. Being we never know who the show may listen to or hear it, because in Hawaii it ended up becoming the #1 financial literacy show.
Okay.
So here in Denver, is there a financial literacy show?
There was a show that was, I think, kind of like that previously, but no longer on our channel, or at least not filming here. So as far as like in our community, not that I know of. No.
All right. Well, we're going to take the Prince of Investing all the way to the top.
That's great. Well, you're in a great spot, because Denver is one of the most poppin' financial I mean, the real estate's gone way up.
Oh
This is
yeah, definitely. I see
very
that.
like a moving, shaking city. So we definitely could use some wisdom in how to direct the resources that are coming our way.
Think about it. You know, people you guys got a pot industry here, right?
Yeah.
The people that's in the weed industry here, I would like to hear from them.
Yeah.
You know, the people that are doing all these things in real estate, I like to hear from them. I like to hear from the Denver Broncos. I want to hear from the Denver Nuggets. I want to hear from the Colorado Rockies. All because you got like 7 pro teams here.
Yeah.
So I want to hear from these pro teams, these athletes, that people, what are they doing with their money? Are they investing? What are, you know, things like that. So I want to make it educational, positive, something you can learn from, but make it fun at the same time. Because finances is dry, it's boring. It's a hard topic to get people to sit there and listen or watch. But I think that we can do it. But I will always choose education over popularity, right? I'd rather be, you know, education and things like that for people to get something out of it. So hopefully it may work, you know.
Yeah, well, I look forward to checking it out, and I wish you the best success.
Definitely, I appreciate this.
Looks like we got a little bit more time. We go until, I think, we go until 5 o'clock right now.
We're going to, oh, okay.
What'd they say?
I can't see, Justin.
Me neither. We're just out here doing our thing.
But I will tell you some more cool things. The thing about these books and about being underground is I've sent these books to numerous places, and you know, probably about 100 places. And the only place that I ever got any recognition from or heard from was Warren Buffett.
Okay.
Out of all the places, I mean, I sent to everybody, right? And that's what got me into Berkshire, and that's on that clip where you was able to see there. So that was pretty crazy. I didn't expect that to happen because, you know, he's Warren Buffett.
Yeah. I mean,
he's the top of the financial world. So, you know, out of all places, but it showed me sometimes when you fail, you have to fail up sometimes.
Okay.
And what I mean by fail up is like, you know, some people, they will try to do something with at a certain level. If they can't get that certain level, they usually, you know, try a little lower. Let's say they try something at the pro level. It didn't work at the pro level, they may try college. If it don't work at college, they may try high school. If it don't work at high school, they may try junior high, where it may work. But sometimes, if you're trying at the college level and it doesn't work, you may have to go to the pro level.
I see.
Because sometimes, that's what I mean, if it makes sense, fail upwards. But some people kind of like, well, if this person wouldn't come onto my show, then I know this person wouldn't come on. But you just never know. Yeah,
I mean, Warren Buffett, I'm sure, was the last person that you thought would be interested. Yeah,
I thought it was going straight to the trash. I'm like, it's probably, you know, whatever. I really did, because I was thinking if everybody beneath the person don't think so.
Absolutely.
And you know, that's how I ended up going to Berkshire, and I got invited to come back next year.
Wow.
So we'll see, you know. And there, you know, I met a bunch of cool people, and also get to sit and hear from Warren Buffett for like 8 hours, talking investing.
Wow. What was that like?
Me, I never thought somebody liked investing more than me, because I have it bad. I have it bad, right? I like finances and investing and things like that, and I talk a lot. So you mix those together, somebody who got a boring topic and they talk a lot, it doesn't really, you know, it's very hard to keep people's interest. But to turn around and to see Warren Buffett at 87 sit on that stage and talk for like 5-6 hours was pretty shocking. He talked me under the table.
Okay.
Really, I was like, well, I think I heard enough, Mr. Buffett. But
he's that enthusiastic.
He was that enthusiastic. You know, that's passion. That's what he loves to do.
Yeah.
Because one of the things it's plenty of other things that I could do to be more lucrative and things like that or whatnot. But this is what I like to do. This is what I want to do when my military career is over, right? So I think it's you know, to all my veteran buddies out there, the ones who have retired, the ones who are getting ready to retire, they'll tell you one of the best things you can do is prepare yourself before. Think about it. When did you know the flood was going to happen? Did you think do you want to build a boat before the flood or when it's flooding?
Yeah.
So I want to, you know, prepare myself to my next future. So. And maybe I may do something with the NFL one day. We'll see.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Now, are you? Do you have any plans to film your show here? Are you going to be filming at Denver Open Media?
Of course. I'm going to film it
Okay.
here, and here locally in the studio, locally right here, downtown Denver. If anybody's here in Denver that would like to come onto the show, we're definitely open for that. But it'll be here, and I still shoot my show in Hawaii from Denver.
Oh, okay.
So on Tuesdays I shoot the show from Hawaii in Denver, and then I'll also it'll be pre-recorded here. But Hawaii is live, but here it'll be pre-recorded and aired at a later time. I don't know the schedule yet.
Yeah.
So
well, I mean,
we'll work out the schedule.
Everything changes. Yeah.
I don't know what camera's on, but stay tuned. We'll get the schedule. So
okay. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Awesome.
Got a funny story, right? So you heard the cookies called Famous Amos.
Yes.
Right. So we all heard cookies of Famous Amos, and so I was a finalist for Shark Tank, the TV show Shark Tank. I go into Shark Tank and they give me 60 seconds to pitch. I pitch it. I thought they didn't listen to nothing I said. And I ended up getting a call back from like ABC or whatever their production company like a week and a half later that they wanted to see more. So essentially I went through the process and I got to the end and they decided to take the show in a different direction. Because it's show business. Once they figure out the business is good, now it's all about the show. What is going to look good, what is good for ratings, all the good stuff like that. Essentially, throughout that is where I found Famous Amos, right? He was on season 7, and he became like the oldest. He had a new cookie.
There's an actual Famous Amos?
Yes, a real guy.
I did not know that.
His real name is Wally Amos.
Wow.
Wally Amos created Famous Amos.
Yeah.
So if you look at the older brand of Famous Amos, you'll see this old black guy with the cookie in his hand.
Yeah.
That's the original Famous Amos. And
wow.
When I saw him on Shark Tank, I said, like you said, and he was like, I live in Hawaii. All my cookies are in the stores in Hawaii. And I'm like, man, I'm in Hawaii. How? Now it's a hunt. Where is Wally Amos? Where is Famous Amos? How can I find Famous Amos? So I reached out to a couple people, and I said, hey, I would like to speak with him. I'd like to bring him on my show, right? And probably about a month after I had done that, my phone rings one day on like a Saturday or something. I answer the phone, and it's Wally Amos for the first time. He's like, hey, I'm going to be back in Hawaii. And I said, I want to bring you on my show. He said, yes, I do it. Things like that. Long story short, I decided, I'm going to go out on the beach. This is going to be awesome. I'm going to meet Famous Amos. I've been eating these cookies for how long? These cookies was in the vending machine back there. You see, you see the little Famous Amos cookies. So I'm like, well, I'm actually going to meet him. So he shows up. He's bringing cookies, and we do the show, right? And we're leaving. He's talking to me. Long story short, I go to get in my car. My car got towed. So I had parked a little bit in someone, not in the driveway, but I was blocking the driveway a little bit, so they towed my car. So now I'm sitting there, just got through interviewing Famous Amos, just met him or whatnot. But Famous Amos tells me, he's like, hey, you know what? Hop in my car. We'll find your car. I was like, I felt embarrassed because I'm like, man, I just came to do an interview with this guy, and now I had to get a ride from him to find my own car. But, very cool guy. He took me to find my own car, and we ended up having a pretty good relationship to where he came onto my show a couple times, and he hosted my book launch for my second book. He really loved the first book. He really liked what I was doing, and great guy all around. And, maybe one day I'll probably have him on the show here in Denver.
That would be awesome. Yeah, I'd love to meet Famous Amos.
Yep. He built the Famous Amos brand in the 70s.
Yeah, it's a huge brand. Yeah, I mean, and to be honest, I just assumed that it was one of those, like cultural appropriation type packaging, But that's really great to hear that.
You know what his initial investors were?
Who's that?
Marvin Gaye, the Supremes, all the soul singers in the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
So
that's awesome.
Pretty cool. His life is a movie, so.
Okay, yeah. Well, that'd be great. Hopefully, you'll be able to get him on this stage over here. That'd be awesome.
We'll see.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Prince Dykes, for jumping on the Prince of Investing. Stay tuned. Keep an eye out for your show.
Definitely. Thank you, Jesse. Thanks for having me. You guys stay tuned. Denver Open Media. We're on Comcast.
56, 57, and 881. And we're also broadcasting on the radio right now on 104.7.
Got it.